Aloha. Hello, maniacs. Trying to get my thumbnail. I guess I'll have to do it after the live. Thoughts on Kratom, asks Melon Monkey. I used it a lot during 2019, 2020, and then it started giving me anxiety, so I stopped. Then I found out it raises prolactin, which can lower your testosterone, so I had no more use for it. That's right, Edgar works for my channel. What's good for libido? Steak, good night's sleep. As for supplements, maca root, you could do Tomcat Ali. Maca root powder, whenever I take it, the first week or so, I notice an increase in libido. But start with the essentials: sleep, good diet. But like I noticed when my mom passed, I was dealing with the stress of that. I had no sex drive. So keep an eye on stress. It's a killer of libido. Got a viewer from Nepal. Did you ever see The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, where he goes to Nepal? There's the beard cookie cutter. No, it's low maintenance, really. I don't have to shave. Razors get expensive shaving the head every day or every other day, so it is a cookie cutter look, though. I have to agree, but I've had this look since the late 90s, early 2000s, so I know it's way more popular now. A lot of women like it, though. I don't remember how much kratom I would do. My tolerance increased pretty quickly, so I don't remember. Several grams of it. Yeah, I got a buzz. It felt like I was on painkillers, to be honest, the kratom. So Lenny's neck routine. I still use the harness. I do the front and the back, the neck, unless I go to the gym that has the four-way neck machine. Have I ever been to Jordan? No. Never been to the Middle East. I've only been to some Caribbean islands on a cruise. That was it. What do you do for work, Evan? Thoughts on the balloons from China? I don't know. Who knows what the true story is on that? But it's deceiving a lot of people into believing it's UFOs, which personally I think all the lights that people see, it's demon activity to dupe people into thinking there's life on other planets. I don't believe that. 18-year-olds, 290 for 3 on the bench is pretty solid. But whatever the balloons or wherever they're from, we need to get to the bottom of it. It shows weakness. That it's like a prank, like they're trolling us. And the one they shot off my coast here in South Carolina a couple weeks ago, it's like they shouldn't have let the thing travel across the country. But I have no idea what it is. It's we're in the end time, so. Who's Petra and Wadi Rum? I'm not a big traveler, John Wilkes Booth. Last leg, I don't know. You're not going to get me on a plane for hours and hours flying over the ocean. Hardest workout I've ever done? Pushing the sled last week at Crunch, aka Broccoli Head Fitness. I was gassed. Yeah, shout out to East Palestine, Ohio. Pray for those people. It's a messy situation. Animals are getting sick. People are getting sick. Supposedly, the mainstream news was covering it up. The chemical spill from the Norfolk Southern Railroad cars. I don't know what caused it. Does anybody know? I saw something. I think Joe Rogan, it was a clip. This guy was going nuts saying they were doing a controlled burning of chemicals. There's got to be health repercussions to it. Thoughts on the Euphrates River drying up, just as it's mentioned in Revelation. Just a matter of time. I mean, the wheels are already in motion for the fulfillment of biblical prophecy as far as eschatology, end times. So, just a matter of time. Who knows? The Antichrist could be living now for all we know. We don't know who it is. No, I just made some chicken stir fry tonight with coconut oil. I put some veggies in there. Charlie Conway wants an old story from the old world gym about the guy who tried to squat with me and blew his leg out. He blew his ankle out. He had these little spandex on, and I don't even recall him warming up. He goes 4 plates. I don't know the guy's style of squatting or the depth. He goes ass to grass, and he's like expecting me to pull him and the weight up. So I just told him dump it, and he snapped his ankle. And then supposedly he was talking trash about me at the mall when Letty saw him. So he was trying to show off. Wasn't in my league, but you got to warm up. You can't just go into a squat like that. It's so much stress on your ankles, your knees, your hips. Yeah, the Scene Kaizen Productions. It's a big change for me. I've been, usually going to smaller gyms. I worked out at my buddy's garage today. So going to Crunch Fitness, it's packed, and the scene in there with the tripods, the tattoos on the girls, the revealing outfits. It's just, the sauna is great, though. I got in the sauna. It's the main reason I pay the $10 a month is use the sauna. I've been taking a hiatus, Swiss cheese. Heaven, what will heaven be like? No more pain, no more suffering. Perfect resurrected bodies at our prime age. Some say 33 years old, like Jesus Christ. And we'll have unlimited learning and knowledge and access to God. And I tell people I'll do my traveling in my afterlife. I don't need to get on a plane now. I'm going to see different planets. Heck, I might even run a planet if I, if you fulfill your will for God in this life, then, your rewards are here in the temporal realm and eternity. So, did my girlfriend's daddy issues get triggered by my natural top G status? I don't know what to make of it. I don't know, whatever. No sense crying over spilled milk. The way I look at it is I saved $20 on a Valentine's Day gift. Meanwhile, Brad was whining and dining the taco bean all over the world on some cruise. Yeah, the home gym. If I had a house, it'd be what I would strive for. Maybe sports will exist. You would think God's all-knowing that he'd want, the ultimate pleasure for us. Who knows? Maybe even sex within marriage or something. Maybe the feeling you get from the best high here on earth, but it's a spiritual aspect to it. Who knows? Hell, what's hell like? There's weeping and gnashing of teeth. The worm, the conscience, never rests. It's going to be more than fire and brimstone. It's going to be, I believe, people that rejected Christianity and they saw opportunity after opportunity to believe in this life. They'll never be able to live it down. Their brain will never shut off. It'll just keep churning and churning, churning. And then regrets in life, I think you'll have just hell in your own mind. Demon of Boca Raton. Ever do reverse grip, bent over rows for lower lats? Not so much anymore. I used to, but Lenny tore his bicep on that. They say that's a recipe for tearing your bicep or bicep tendon, Bruce. Do I believe in purgatory? No, it's not biblical. It's something the Catholic Bible has additional books that aren't in a Protestant Bible. So purgatory, from what my understanding, was a money-making thing. The Bible says it's appointed man to die once, and after this comes the judgment. So that leaves no room for purgatory. We've had a warm winter here, Renaud. It's 70 degrees today, record warmth. A lot of rain, just like the Farmer's Almanac said. Bootsy eats a little soft food and dry food. Hammer strength row or cable row, hammer strength row. How long should I set the catches when doing rack pulls? How low, sorry. Just below the knees is where I like to set it. But if you're doing powerlifting, a lot of powerlifters would start higher up on the thigh, a little bit above the knee, and each week lower it if you're going to be doing like a competition pull off the floor. But for bodybuilding's sake, just below the knees, I think. Yeah, I dropped 455 on my bench doing close grip, got up, and I just blacked out. It knocked me out. Then the paramedics came in. I had no insurance. Then I didn't start to feel it till later that night. It hurt for about a month. I probably cracked ribs. I never did get it checked out. Don't do it, TR4Y. He wants to hit the strip club with a bottle of G. Sit is fun for a season. That's what I've been thinking a lot about lately. My youth, the stuff that I was thrilled to do. Get on some G and look for girls and hit strip clubs, hit the streets. It's just, I don't know if it's maturation or just faith. It's not God's will for me. Yeah. Back in the day, if you sent a letter with money to the Pope, your sins would be forgotten. Michael Thunder says, hell is like listening to all Genova's Instagram rants for eternity. Yeah, hell is so bad that demons beg Jesus not to send them into the abyss. Was Jay Masters an alpha male in college when he did track and field at Michigan? I don't know the way that term's used these days. The alpha male, it's watered down. But he was a supreme athlete, supposedly. I mean, you participate in sports in a major college. Hey, you're, I don't know if you want to call it alpha male or what you want to call it, but I'm sure back in those days, too, because he's a little bit older than me, that women appreciated that and looked up to it. Those hot-looking Michigan gals. Were you around Lenny when he threw people's car keys at the gym front desk down the sewer drain? No. He used to step on cell phones, though, and bump into people. Did I tear a chest? I had a minor tear taking Levaquin for a prostate infection. I tore upper outer pec, nothing crazy, no tendon tear, but fluoroquinolone antibiotics will make you tear muscles. It's proven. I can't bench heavy anymore. I still train. I'm probably training harder now than I ever did in my life when I train with my buddy Stefan 2 days a week in his garage. But it's more, it's heavy relative to my testosterone, my age, my injuries. But, I mean, I try to push heavy. So. How much butter shake could you drink in one sitting? A big 32-ounce cup was like cement. What's a good age to get heart checked? Depends. I mean, if you got a family history, your dad or your mom had heart issues relatively young, or if you're running a lot of gear, or you have been running a lot of gear. Well, like me, for example, in my 20s, I ran gear, so I could have theoretically got my heart checked at 30, but I had no idea. But doctors are weird. Like even getting a calcium scan, insurance doesn't cover it. It's about $100. But I mean, if you don't take a lot of juice, you don't have a family history, I would wait till like 40, 35, 40. Did you get along with the Spanish River champion, Adam McLeod? I think I only met him in Vegas in 2018 for the Olympia, but I had no problem with him. He sent me some shirts. He always volunteered to help if I want to do something with my channel. So, no, I don't even know that where there are gay bars here or tranny bars, to be 100% honest with you. I would have no interest. Joe Rohan, a false prophet? You mean Joe Rogan? Did I ever eat a high-calorie meal before training at Lenny's dungeon? Well, Lenny would make the high-calorie breakfast, and then we'd go lift, and then I'd take him to work when we were training regularly. Joe Rogan, he's no false prophet. He's not a believer. Do I think Lenny's father made him turn into the crazy guy he is? I think it's hereditary. I think it's one of his relatives jumped off the bridge and committed suicide. I think it exacerbated it, but it's no excuse. Lenny's definitely not a cookie cutter. He's the stuff, you guys know how he is. But if he still harbors, guilt about that, he needs to let go of it and reconcile with his father. Thoughts on Leo's death? I watched a couple videos. Johnny Bravo was saying that the FBI is looking into it. So Tony's behavior is definitely suspicious to me. I would never thought Tony would do that. Who knows? Maybe he didn't do it. But it's just so suspicious that he came out and made videos, and then he's doing Instagram stories like nothing. Sheer Terror Band, never heard of them. Thanks, Metal Lives. No, I'm just working one job. I don't really want to work two jobs unless I absolutely have to. My leisure time or my free time, hit the gym today. I was off from work. I hit the gym, went in the sauna, did some stuff around the apartment, cooked. So I really need those days off. Did me or Lenny ever get robbed after bringing home a chick? No, he almost did, hitting the streets. He's got some stories about that. How's it going, Timothy? I'm hanging in there. The squatting 405 for 5 sets of 3 build more muscle than 315, 3 sets of 12. I think 3 sets of 12 builds more. Hypertrophy is, best attained in the 6 to 12 range. But do a periodization where you're doing 5 sets of 3 for a while. I hope, Pat, man, I hope it's not the same FBI that handled Hunter's laptop. We're still waiting what they found in it. No, whenever I trained with Lenny back in the late 90s, early 2000s, his place wasn't a filthy dungeon. Flex Cavana, hello. What time is it in Australia right now? Male cat spraying tips. Get it fixed. I just watched a YouTube video, Secret Sauce, Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs, and he was participating in spaying and neutering a bunch of stray feral kitties in Texas. You should check it out. It's on the Discovery YouTube page. But get it fixed unless it's it's just going to continue to do that, and then it's could become a tomcat and get the big head and the big balls. I foam roll a little bit. I stretch, not as much as I should. What division of the military will I be once I'm drafted? I'm too old for the draft. The Marine Corps, I'd say, though. First one in, last one out, if they were to draft me. At this point, if it came to it where they're drafting 45-year-old men, hey, so be it. I don't use any lotion on my face. I shaved and I put some aftershave on my head earlier. Check out the shirt. You can still get it, people. I'm coming for Genova. Would I move to the suburbs of my area? I am in the suburbs. Thanks. Appreciate that, Rambo. My dad's health. I saw him tonight for dinner. He's not sleeping, depressed. I mean, you can imagine, married 52 years to my mom. So he says his blood work looks good, but I don't buy it. You still could be getting plaque in your arteries, even though your blood work looks good. Yeah, I used to give catnip to the outdoor kitties. TR4Y lives in London. Would you recommend Delray to visit? If you like nice beaches and you want to hit the Ave, there's probably a lot different food there than what you get in London. Yeah, to get away from the cold, rainy time of year in London, I would suggest going. Thoughts on females built with big calves and small quads? Is it a symptom of diabetes, like big fat calves or developed calves? I mean, I don't know if it's the same with women, like the quads and arms atrophy. And some people say insulin resistant, like Lenny, the big stomach, but small, the arms atrophy and the legs and the calves. But females, I guess it'd be the same. Thanks, Frank the Tank. My body weight, I was about 206 this morning. Chronic elbow pain. Here, I'll show you what I use to. Because people always ask me about this. This you can get it at Amazon, TheraBand, Flex Bar, and there's different exercises for tennis elbow and golf elbow. The guy from London, look at this. My mom gave me this little beanie baby with the is this your flag, I believe? Favorite Van Damme movie is Bloodsport. LDL of 187. That's terrible. You got to get that down. Oof. I think Prince will upload once Tim's gym opens, and if Tim allows it, or if Jay is around, because I think he last filmed Jay. I was just looking the other day. The last Misfit video was Jay Masters training. Excellent, Matthew. 585 conventional deadlift. That's great. You're doing that instead of falling into the trap of the Hallmark holiday, Valentine's Day, buying some junk she doesn't need, or whining and dining her. Thanks, Shane Lee Shane. Appreciate you dedicating the workout to my mom. Do I find cankles irresistible? No, it's a turnoff. Did the ex-girlfriend mind you comping fields? Well, she loved it for 2.5 months. Couldn't get enough of me. Was enamored with me, sending me text messages, and just got weird. You sense the vibe. And then she was like lying to me, making weird excuses. So I don't know what her issue was. She didn't tell me. Is it safe to say Jay never hit it off? Yeah, because before I went to Florida in 2018, he was challenging me to box. And then he texted me and he said it was like wrestling, like a shtick. But he just continued on and on, What was going through my mind when I saw Genova for the first time? This kid's nuts. Did I tell the ex about the Misfits? No, not really. She was love bombing me. I never heard that phrase, but okay. Can I still squat over 500? No, my low back's giving me issues. Now it's just, it's low back pain. It's my shoulder joint. It's just, yeah, there wouldn't be no point in attempting it. Connor Murphy. I don't know anything about him. I saw he was in Tony Hughes' videos, but He's a tutti fruity, eh? Jay said many times that his doodle doesn't work anymore. It's dead. Is my 650 raw bench still top 30 all time? And the Iron Man, so with no belt, no straps, I think that is. But overall raw with like singlets and elbow sleeves and all that, I'm sure it's probably not even in the top 30 anymore. Yeah, that sounds about right. I can't pronounce the name. Looks, what is that, Greek? Love bombing is a controlling and manipulative tactic most often used by narcissists and abusive people. They seek to quickly obtain affection and attention before tearing their victims down. She didn't tear me down like verbally, but just vanished. Eventually, she came clean and apologized, but didn't tell me what her issue was. So, how would you separate weight training and combat sports training? I gas out, hitting the bag after weights. Do hit the bag on your off days from the gym. It's what I do now. Like I'll hit the weights 4 days, and then I'll try to do the heavy bag or a sled or something like that, or high intensity interval cardio on the off days. Dale Murphy, Dave Palumbo. What did you think of the painted slogan in the back of the end zone of the recent gathering? The unpatriotic, woke, pathetic kneelers. I don't know why they keep pandering. I mean, it's kind of weird. Colin Kaepernick, they blackballed him. It was obvious. He probably could have still played. Like he was better than a lot of the backup QBs. But yet they still have the things on the helmets and the sayings in the end zone and everything else. I don't know. To me, if I was, a minority, I'd be more offended that I'm being pandered to. Like I'm a weaker person mentally, physically. It's like so that you constantly got to pander to them. Just let's call everybody's an American or whatever. Everybody's has an equal opportunity for a job, and it should be based off merit. So. If you're fasting, your LDL will spike. I don't think so. I think it's the opposite. Fasting 18 hours, I've heard your LDL would be lower. Favorite boxer was David Tua. He was a Samoan guy, built like Mike Tyson. He got his highs fighting Lennox Lewis, but lost just because he had such a huge reach disadvantage. Hello, James. You think taking collagen supplements makes you look younger? If you stick to them, there's probably some good research on them. You got to stay on them like 16 weeks or longer. But like fine lines and wrinkles, yeah, I think they help. You just got to stay on them. When was I last in Atlanta? 2020, I helped my old roommate move from Atlanta to get some of his stuff and bring it here. No, the girl didn't do any drugs. She vaped like a cookie cutter, which I told her I didn't like. She had anxiety. I'm like, that's probably going to make you more anxious. And she was having long COVID problems. So I was like, well, that's inflammatory. Why would you add more inflammation to your body by doing the vaping? You don't know what's in there. Theodore Roosevelt said, there's no room for hyphenated Americans. Eddie Steady, I'm hanging in there. How you doing? Al Sharpton. Oof. Does anybody remember Brad was in New York and Al Sharpton was talking to some news guy in the background and Brad went like this? Any good buffets in South Carolina? Yeah, there's Mutt's Barbecue. It's pretty good. And they got the Golden Corral here. There's a lot of Chinese buffets. I don't really go to any of them. Yeah, I remember making a video on consistency, but I don't remember what one of the worst experiences of my life was. Jane never. She didn't like. Nah, she never hit on me. She was overtly friendly, but thoughts on guys like Eric Helms and Jeff Nippard advocating training full body 5 times a week doesn't seem enjoyable, regardless of what science says. Yeah, they said for natural guys, you're stimulating protein synthesis by doing that, so you have to train more often. But I'd rather just do 3 to 4 days, very intense, recover. I mean, because at a certain point you're going to get diminishing returns. Because no matter what you're doing, even if you're not going all out, I think it's a lot of stress on the joints and tendons. Maybe younger guys could do it. I can't imagine doing it now with any modicum of intensity. Brad calls vapes a douche flute. Rusty Shackelford thinks I said something the girl didn't like. He was dating a girl years ago and mentioned hating abortion. She got weird and it fizzled out soon. No, we were on the same page. She was supposedly, from what she said, very conservative, like a nominal Christian. So I've never been duped that bad, for things going one way. In the past, I was like passive aggressive or moody, but I never got like that with this girl. We had a good balance. Like we weren't seeing each other every day. I was strange. It's a head scratcher. I don't know what happened. Yeah, Lee Haney's from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Not too far from him. My dad and my brothers used to watch Lee Haney on ESPN in the late '80s, early '90s. They'd record his program on VHS and like do the routines. We had a weight room in the garage in Boca Raton. Wouldn't surprise me if you tell a girl you don't like rap. She thinks you're a racist. Best SARM for lean muscle and fat loss. The only one that ever worked for me was Rad 140, but it really messed my cholesterol up. So, Bootsy, now that I think about it, Bootsy liked other girls that I brought over the years more than this girl. She was kind of a little too hyper and kind of aggressive with her. I don't know if maybe she never had pets growing up, but she was kind of weird. Like Bootsy was like, you could tell she was like feeling her out, and she was like a little kid around a cat. She liked Bootsy, but I don't think Bootsy didn't like her as much as Misha and this other girl I dated, Melanie. She took to them way more, but this girl, I don't know, was kind of weird. No, I wouldn't move back to Florida. My dad's here, my brother's here. I wouldn't go back there. Vince Goodrum. Did she have good genetics for weightlifting? I don't know. She was shorter than me. She said she was fat when she was a kid, but probably not. She had scoliosis, so she was kind of like her spine was a little messed up. I wish 315 bench. I wish I can get some for some good sleep. Vince Goodrum hopped on TRT and he wants to compete again. What do I think of Vince Goodrum's physique in his prime? Did he ever have a prime? The picture I saw of him wasn't impressed, but he might have been natty. So Why would I rent an SC? You should do a USDA loan. Well, then you got to buy. Oh, in the long run, it would be cheaper, I'm sure. But the mortgage rates are high. I don't know what that would cost. And then I got to get washer, dryer, all the appliances, which are expensive. So there's pros and cons to renting in an apartment complex like this versus having a house. Do I think I met the girl when I was on semen retention, and then once I released my seed, she lost interest? I don't have no idea. I'll never know. What sentence will Amin get if proven guilty in a court of law for his ibogaine? I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Did anybody die under while he was administering that stuff? I have no idea what they'll take into account, his prior record. I haven't really followed any of that with that guy. I think it's a farce, that stuff. Ibogaine. Michael Thunder said he doesn't want Brad to deliver his mail. He'd probably get a contact high off the mail. The USDA subsidizes your interest rate. It can be as low as 0%. Anybody on here take advantage of that loan? She wasn't hunchback, but she was like tilted forward, like she's kind of slightly angled forward. Yeah, the stars are God's handiwork, Renegade 6977. Brad's hot boxes in the mail truck. Yeah, what is Lenny persona non grata at Bard's estate? Can't even get him over there to film a training session or something. Yeah, I said it earlier tonight, just a little TRT. That's what struck me was the fishy behavior by Tony Hughes right off the jump. But the only recent update I've seen was John Bravo saying the FBI is investigating. But till something, concrete comes out, I haven't really paid it too much attention. What theological books are you thinking, Dan Beitzel? I have a good library as it is. Thoughts on Lanny Poffo death? Was that Randy Savage's brother? When did he pass away? Wasn't he the genius, or he had like the cap and gown when he was one of his gimmicks? I remember him from the 80s. Have I heard from Big J? No. Haven't spoken to him, and probably the last time I spoke to the guy was 2018 at the Olympia. Who would win in a fight in their prime, Lenny or Big Richard? Lenny. Anyone know if Emma is locked up? Yeah, the genius. Rip Leaping Lanny Poffo, the genius. That's right. Only book you need in your library is the Holy Bible. That sounds pretty good. AA did the USDA loan, 38-year term at 0.9% interest, got a $200,000 house for $830 a month, including property tax, insurance, 0 down. Yeah, I should. My lease is up here in September, so favorite 80s wrestler. Several. I like the Road Warriors, Powers of Pain. All the typical, probably a lot of guys Lenny liked. Ultimate Warrior. I like Dino Bravo, Hercules Hernandez, all the juiced up guys. Charles Spurgeon, John Calvin. Are you a Calvinist, Dan Beitzel? I've never heard of the first name. Louise Burkhoff's Systematic Theology. I've heard of Louis Sperry Schaefer's Systematic Theology. I have one cat, Bootsy, and my old neighbors take care of the outdoor cats where I used to live. I heard, yeah, I did see Jerry Jarrett died. No, I never read the Book of Enoch. I think that's one of those books that's in the Catholic Bible, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Rick Rude I liked. Rick Martel. But I like the rivalries. You know, some of the guys didn't have great physiques, but like the Four Horsemen, I think it was the Fabulous Ones or something. They had lightning bolts on their trunks in the AWA. Kurt Angle, yeah, I like Kurt Angle. No, I don't really drink milk. I have dairy products, but I don't drink milk. Strongly Reformed Calvinist. Do you believe in what is the Calvinist? It's certain people are predestined to hell, that they really don't have it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Everybody has a equal opportunity to believe in Christ, but hyper Calvinism, that's what I'm thinking of. Bootsy's pretty good. She's over here. What? She's laying down over here. Jimmy the Mouth of the South. Yeah, he's great. He used to be a singer in a band in the 60s or 70s, I think. Jake the Snake. I never really liked him, but the snake gimmick was good. I didn't know Lenny watched videos of Whoopi Goldberg farting on live TV. Yeah, Ken Shamrock was pretty good when he was in there. Degeneration X versus the NWO Wolfpack. Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't collaborate, but it was business. They had to go against, for the war on the war for the ratings back then, but would have been interesting if they would have had like a showdown between the two organizations. Denny from Instagram out in California. Why did Emma get so scary looking the past few years? Eyes sunken in and veiny and always sounded congested. Why do you think? The girl, from my understanding, had drug issues when she was up in Detroit, so she probably relapsed. I never met her in person, though. That's right. They probably heard Bootsy, Rusty. Bootsy was just meowing, and your cats probably heard it, so they're drawn to the live. Perry Saturn, yeah, he was pretty good. Are you surprised it took so long for someone to slay Leo, considering how many people he threatened? That's what John Romano was saying. I listened to bits and pieces of Palumbo's show, and Romano was saying that, but who knows? I mean, and you're in a place like that, Thailand, it's completely different laws and just different culture and everything. Yeah, go to TRT clinic, Bench Press Maniac. That's what they're there for. When the doctor won't give it to you, you go to one of those places and they'll get you on something. No, I don't plan on dating more in the future. That girl was a layup. I met her here in the back of my apartment, and like the way we hit it off, and I kind of knew her, was acquainted with her. So she's like, "Do you remember me?" She's like, "Well, I remember you. You're very handsome and very nice." So it was like an easy layup to ask her out, and we just was a walking distance away for a couple months. Everything was great. So the odds of something like that happening again are slim to none. I'm not going to go on a dating site. I don't go out. I'm home 8:00. I get off work. I come home. Where am I going to meet a girl? I just started going to a church around the corner. Maybe there. I don't know. My finishing move, if I was a wrestler, yeah, Ivan Putski was great too. Some sort of power move. I don't know. It probably wouldn't be unique. It would be, like a some sort of suplex. The jackhammer was good. I like Goldberg's move because I don't think anybody ever did that before. Or I think with my pressing strength, press him up and then drop him to the shoulder and then just tombstone him. That would have been my move. No, well, I see her. She works at a store here. And I swear I went in there last week and she avoided me like the plague. Yeah, I need a nice Mennonite woman, Edward. That'd be nice. The cat hammer slam, yeah. And if I was losing, I could pull out like a claw out of my trunks, like a cat claw, and claw somebody in the face. I go to non-denominational church. Razor's Edge, the Calora Crusher. Yeah, it was 340 in that bench press video. So 5'8", 340. But I wasn't flabby. I just had a big gut. You go watch the video. I had a lot of muscle, like my chest, my shoulders. From the back, I had almost had a taper. Just my gut was so distended. Brad's finishing move is the Bourbon Bash. Fernandez said she probably looked me up on Google. No, a friend of mine bought one of them privacy things where you could pay like $20 for a month and you get access to look into people's details. And I looked her up on there. She had a not a DUI, but a speeding infraction and a shoplifting charge when she was like a teen. But other than that, she was clean. But she was truthful. She was never married, no kids. The kid had it, and I'm like, well, let me look up this girl. I just started seeing her, so. Yeah, it could be awkward if you meet a girl somewhere and it's a place you frequent a lot. Not the gym, I wouldn't care, but like a store or something, or say a restaurant, a waitress. Flab ups. The Delray Ripper's finishing move is strangulation with a phone cord. That'd be good. Somebody should make a video game. Remember Lenny? Somebody made a video game with Lenny versus Rich Piana. It was like a Delray Misfit wrestling video game. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. But Lenny looked like he was black and he had like a diaper on and he was running around barefooted. They should remake it with the Delray Ripper strangling with a phone cord. Jay's move would be the blueberry bomb. Brad's wrestling moves are the postal hold and the special delivery elbow. Yeah, I voted. I voted for Republican. I voted for Trump twice and Mitt Romney. Those are the only times I voted for the president. Yeah, I told the girl about the 650 and the bodybuilding. The Fiedelman angle. The malt liquor meltdown. Jay's finishing move. Yeah, I like Jay Vernon McGee, Bruce. Yeah, through the Bible radio. Hellfire and Brim. Yeah, he's on the radio station I listen to here is 91.1, Monday through Friday. Forgot what it's called. Through the Bible with Jay Vernon McGee. Yeah, 12:30. Jay will sit on his opponent and force feed them steel reserve. Lenny's move would be the snot stuffer. Victim, I can't breathe. I'm dying. Delray Ripper, correct. Why not set up a cat sanctuary around here? Well, my buddy across the street that takes care of my strays, that's his goal. He loves animals, and he'd like to do that for a living. Did Dale's wife really leave him? I have no idea. Jay would lay prone on top of his opponent, and his shoulder would dislocate and suffocate his opponent. The Delray Ripper versus Al Sharpton in the main event. Lenny's move, can't hold the phone to my ear elbow. Arinalton Hayashi Rabarro. Yeah, Dale's finishing move is the Dale's stick shift smash into the side of a barn. I live in Greenville. Keep moving adventures. Yeah, in April. That's where I live, is Greenville, South Carolina. You'll have to get in touch with me somehow. Maybe get in contact with Lenny on Instagram, and then he'll contact me. We can meet up in Greenville and train. We'll go to the secret lair and hit some weights with my buddy Stefan. I haven't talked to Fiedelman in years. I'm not on bad terms with him. I don't know. I mean, distance, last time I saw him was with everybody else in Las Vegas in 2018. But I'm forever indebted to the Prince because he put the bench press on the YouTube for everybody to see. So, yeah, Vince Goodrum's about a half hour from me. He's in Piedmont. Yeah, Lenny will get in touch with me. See if you can get Lenny to meet us up here too. Yeah, Greenville. It's the upstate of South Carolina, Greg. So Vince Goodrum lives around here. Yeah, it's not supposed to be exciting always. Church, James, you should go because Hebrews 10:25 says, "Do not forsake the assembling together." So you need to be in a corporate worship with other believers. That's right. Bench press maniac adopted a senior kitty. It's his best friend. I wouldn't know what I'd do. I come home, Bootsy's here. It's definitely a positive since my mom passed. I come home, I still have my little Bootsy for now. Yeah, I have a bike. I just got an expensive Trek bike. Somebody sold to me used, like a $2,000 bike. I'm going to start riding around in the spring. The cameraman for the 650 bench was Tyler De Niro, redhead. He was related to the actor Robert De Niro. But he didn't like the skinheads because he had a lot of black friends and he thought they were scumbags. Thoughts on the 4 trains carrying toxic chemicals derailing? Coincidence? I don't think it's anything sinister. I think it happens. I don't know that particular region of this country, what would be the motivation to purposely derail it? I don't know. But supposedly somebody said that it's going to impact all the way down to the Gulf because the rivers and tributaries, the chemicals are all in there now. So fish are already dying, the soil, and then they're burning it. So, I mean, there's no telling. Just like Bill Gates buying up the farmland here, the Chinese buying up the farmland. Lenny and I would take a day off, like a 2-on, 1-off type split in our training regiment back in the day. I don't know. Never knew what a hammer skin was, bench press maniac, until that bench press meet. I'd go to concerts, but I don't recall hearing the name Hammerskins. They were from like Port St. Lucie, like a couple counties up from Palm Beach County, but I don't know what the deal. Well, Lenny, hopefully he's going to slim down and get in the best shape of his life so he could fit in the Tacoma, and you could bring him back up to Canada to reunite with Marvin, aka what do they call him? Aladdin. Thoughts on Lenny's recent protocol change? No, I think he took my advice from my last lives. I said he needs to fast more and get off the gear. It's toxic, really, when you look at it. It's inflammatory to the system, steroids, especially if you don't know what's in it. It's not going to kill him to come off for a little bit. Try to get the waistline down. Thoughts on supporting a new wife and kid? Would you do it? At this point, with my dealings with women in my life, I don't know. I feel bad. I mean, that's the big problem is little kids, both guys and girls, without a father figure. But I'll never say never completely if it's God's plan for me. But in my own, if I have to have my way, I'd say no. I just wouldn't trust the girl enough to commit to that. John Lemkin's leg and back development. I don't know who that is. How far did that kid fly in the mosh pit? A good bit. I was flinging him like nothing. I mean, the kid was over 200 pounds. I was throwing him all over that mosh pit. Piedmont, I think it's about 30 minutes for me. I should you guys think I should collab with Vince Goodrum? Would I date Lucy, who Leo's wife? She seemed really nice, intelligent. She's really pretty. Lenny was very impressed with her, and Lenny likes the tans. But I never met her in person. Hopefully she meets a nice guy that can raise the little girl that they had. Yeah, I do remember that. Aladdin got a goat and chicken slaughtered for Lenny. PM Mont. Prince Andrew was so awkward with women. Mark Stubing's transition update. Who's that? I don't know who that is. I am small, Dennis. I'm like 206. Look at that, though. I just donated blood yesterday, too. So I don't even have all my optimal hemoglobin levels. That's too late for me, Truth One. I'm in bed Friday nights because I got to get up early Saturday. I should collab with him. I bet he'd be delighted to do it. Nate's finisher is whacking his opponent with a camera tripod. Prince Andrew simped to Jennifer from the desk, says one maniac. Thanks, Dennis. Rando Alt says, don't eat anything at Vince's house. His air fryer has never been clean. It's disgusting. What's more disgusting, that or Lenny's pan with the maggots in it? Would I date Ariel Palumbo? Who's that? Dave Palumbo's? That's not. Dave Palumbo don't have a daughter that age. He's got little kids. Who is that? Who's Ariel Palumbo? Appreciate it, Greg. Yeah. Like I said in the little video I did, I got to nail the eating and the sleeping. It's big for me now. How much fat did Brad gain at the cruise? Nate's finisher is getting cucked into oblivion by whichever girl he's with at the time. Mark Steuben. Who is this person? You think that German broad, what was her name again? Livia took Nate for a green card ride? Wouldn't surprise me. I do want to go to Arizona one day. I always say it, Timothy. Something about that place intrigues me. Boston Lloyd's wife. Oh, that's her name, Ariel Palumbo? She's, I think, was she on with Leo on a podcast? She's attractive. Pretty girl. again, hopefully the little kid needs a father. Little, what's his name? Jackson Lloyd, his kid. Geez, that is weird though. It's Boston died, and then a short time later, Leo. Huh. I don't think those exist, those type of girls anymore in the Italian countryside with a hairy little private area. Truth one, why did Pomps leave the Las Vegas lounge? Isn't he some atheist badass? What's he scared of? That's what I asked him. I thought atheists like that were, he said this is a simulation, so he should have simulated in being there. Asked Pomps. He never gave us a good answer why he pieced out that evening and took off. He said, I'm out of here. He got an Uber. Appreciate it, Timothy. Aren't you in Flagstaff? Or what? I think you said you were in Flagstaff, Arizona, right? Where it gets cold. I don't know why Pomps ran out. Even God, what was the guy's name? Kind of looked like one of Prince Andrew's friends. He was out there filming. He was with some girl. I can't remember his name. He does photography. I think he lives in California. Even he went into the Las Vegas lounge. Geez, I can't even remember his name. He was a nice guy. We kept in touch for a while. Damn, I can't think of his name. Pomps is too cookie cutter to handle men in wigs. Nope, Pomps never really gave a clear-cut explanation to this day. Pomps was freaking out looking at the sky with a telescope because of the UFO headlines. Wow, 4 feet of snow. Not my cup of tea, Timothy. Here, if they get 3 inches of snow, they shut the town down. They don't have the resources. But the problem is the black ice. My heart's doing good. I'm able to get in the sauna again, doing cardio, hitting the weights, taking my meds as prescribed. Good tea. Bye. I need to do more podcasts. Get Lenny on, Brad. 315 benches in Vegas. It's crowded here now. Yeah, I liked Vegas. I didn't gamble or drink or anything, but I just liked the atmosphere, I guess. Dale's kids call his father Uncle Grandpa. What? So I think Tony's claim of Leo having superhuman strength and unbeatable fighting prowess is a myth. Yeah, seems a little far-fetched. Yeah, I'd like to see the Grand Canyon. Was I impressed with Jay Masters when I met him? How big was he in person? Yeah, he's pretty big. He's an imposing figure. He's not like, obviously at his weight, it's not like a big Rami at the same weight. It's going to be a totally different look. But yeah, I mean, it's a big guy. 500 milligrams of Tren Ace per week. Woof. Yeah, that's what I would call the death stack. Joe Burrow, yeah. He was the number 2 rated Pro Football Focus quarterback this year, only to Patrick Mahomes. So Burrow's going to win a Super Bowl. They just got to continue to build around him, mainly the offense and defensive line. What was Jay like in person when the camera wasn't rolling? Different, of course. You could tell it was a little bit of a shtick. Lou shot him up for the Memorial Day lift. I think he shot him up with like suspension. And he was like, Jay was like, ow. But he was seriously like saying it hurt. He's like, ow, it hurts. Yeah, K2 and D3, a must in the supplement arsenal. Spoke to Rob Zilla recently. No, haven't talked to him probably since doing the podcast with him 2 years ago, whenever that was. Do you think gear and hormones mess with men's sexuality? Yes. You know, amplify it and then diminish it when you come off, because of the different hormonal reactions, estrogen conversion, prolactin, whatever else. So, yeah. Should you opt out of dating and just pump and dump? You should abstain. Be like a eunuch, 315 bench. Just lift weights and read. But I get the sentiment. A lot of guys agree with you, pump and dump, that it's not even worth dating. So. The Ark of the Covenant is hidden somewhere in a cave in the Grand Canyon. Huh. We'll find out one day. Did Jay really cry at the Memorial Day party? Well, he was really hammered at the end of the night. It was, yeah, and Brad and Lenny were like, that's how he gets when he gets trashed. Because that was the first time being around the guy. It was weird. Abstain and gain. That's good. It's a good motto. Yeah, Middle Eastern women, my friends from Iraq, had a very simple life. They enjoyed it very much. The little boys they had, they fed me for Ramadan. They had very humble, small little apartment, but they seemed happier than a typical American. It is Teflon done. Pump and dump is soulless, but from a Christian perspective, obviously you want to abstain. But like I said, I get a lot of guys, that's their mentality. I mean, it's totally different these days, meeting and dating women. Could I have gone another couple times with the gals at Lou's party? Yeah, but I did get greedy. Lou got pissed at me. But nobody was doing anything. Brad was with Brad didn't partake because he was dating Trina or Katrina or something. And Prince Andrew wanted to take one back to his house, and Lou got pissed about that. And then, the porn stars really liked me, like my physique. They handpicked me to go to Lou's room, and they got pissed. But I'm like, hey, what do you want? But remember, I was celibate for 6 years, so it was like I had to get my second win there. I was about to go in the dog cage when Lou came in and got pissed at me. I was going to put it on Instagram. Lou had the big dog cage for his bull mastiff. Big Lenny's last. Focus on your goals, not the holes. Prince Andrew wanted to take one of the Cuban gals back to his house. Yeah. Lou got pissed about it. Were the women keen on having a piece of the bedroom bully? I don't know. Because I went in with one girl and then went out, and then the porn stars, the old lady, and the other one, the bodybuilder, brought me into Lou's room. And Lou was pissed at the end of the night because Brad didn't do anything with the gals, and Prince Andrew, I don't think, did. And I remember Lou leaning over the counter on Memorial Day, and he's like, I'm done with the misfits. Lou was insulted that they didn't partake. Lou said he was done with the misfits. Did I see the video where Brad brought beer to the gym? No. The ladies never would have been seen again. Andrew probably wanted to dismember. You guys are bad. Where'd that name come from with Andrew anyway? Who coined the name the Delray Ripper? Yeah, Jason. At least Jason partook, and he's like, "I just lost my virginity." I haven't been to many parties in my life, but that was definitely the best party for sure. I give it to Lou. He came through on his. I was very skeptical. I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. Even Prince Andrew said it, but sure enough, those gals showed up. Well, yeah, when Andrew asked Lou to take him back to his house, I was in the room with the girl. Lou said it at the end of the night. He told me and Lenny. Lenny's like, what? I think Prince just wanted the head, not the whole body, to come back with him. Jason losing his virginity was iconic moment. Jeez. Andrew made many serial killer references throughout the years and incriminated himself. I don't remember him saying it on the podcast, did he? Can't remember him talking about serial killers. I remember he'd read off the New York Post. He was good at commentating and kind of intertwining, and everything meshed well with Andrew. Like, he was good behind the camera. I don't remember him talking about serial killers, though. Yeah, Nate and Livia came and freeloaded and took off. Whoa, baby, I'm lasting. Yeah, I remember he said that. Yeah, Genova had good forearms, good calves. If he really applied himself, he probably could have been a decent bodybuilder, I think. Why did Andrew always call Jason Chief? I don't know. American Psycho's based off Prince Andrew's escapades. Sam Berkowitz and Livia's the 21st century Eva Braun. Didn't Livia trash the floor at some gym, or was that some other girl down there? She was doing something and wrecked the floor at the gym. Huey Lewis and the News, yeah, they have good songs from Back to the Future. Jason's the leader of the Sith. That's why he called him Chief. Jason Blaha claims he never heard of me when Greg Stewart quizzed him on my record lifts. Yeah, I'm not a big name in the powerlifting world, but you can look up the video like anybody else and see it on YouTube, the bench. But I mean, I didn't do any powerlifting meets to get my name in there, so. But I mean, if you told him the lifts I did, I'm sure he'd be impressed. 765 for 4 deadlift. I mean, squat 600 for reps. I was 23 when I benched 650. Prince Andrew couldn't get Jennifer because he didn't have any Oxycontin. Yeah, Teflon Don. I like the 80s movies. I can watch them over and over. Probably the best years of my life as a little rugrat running around Boca Raton. What me and Lenny, we took before the 650 bench. VPX made this red stuff, had ephedrine in it called Clembetrix. We did that. Methyl testosterone crushed up under the tongue. Trenbolone pellets crushed up under the tongue. And then we shot suspension that day. And that was in addition to the heavy stack we were doing. Yeah. I did 6. Yeah, it was like 585 and 6 plates and a 10 on each end. Yeah. Did a couple sets for reps with that. Pretty deep. That's a good question, Mike. When I was down at Prince Andrews doing the podcast, no air conditioning was on down there. I thought it was kind of weird in Florida with that humidity. I don't know. $340. How tall are you, Mr. Wonderful? Have I seen the movie Snake Eater? What's it about? It's on YouTube. Maybe I'll check it out. How long is it? Poppers. No, I've never done a popper. Ever heard of guys trying to lift on PCP? No. Six three, 340, Mr. Wonderful. It's like an offensive lineman or a nose tackle. That's a heavy stack you did there. 500 MIGs a Trent a week. I never did that much. Does Jason Blaha still do videos? I never really watched any of them in entirety. No, I don't have any travel plans the next couple of years. The new poster of Tony Montana has eggs replacing the cocaine on his desk. I haven't seen it. Somebody says Prince didn't want to overload his circuit board and have all his freezers quit. That's how Dahmer got caught. The worst cookie cutter behavior I saw in person. I don't know. But I was at the gym the other day and the power went out briefly, and there's a lot of old people in there. And as soon as the power went out, the oohs and the ahs. Why? Like, why do you have to make that gasp like that just because the power went out for a second? Could I outlift Mark Plummer if I got on a mild cycle? Who's Mark Plummer? If I got on a mild cycle, I'd be moving big weights. I've been off since 2019. Lenny took catnip, which was phenibut and caffeine, these liquid things. When I moved here from Florida in 2008, they were strong. They mess you up for hours, and they were actually called catnip. But he didn't take catnip for cats. Yeah, I don't buy it, Fernandez. Tony wants us to believe Leo died because he was working on plumbing. Did me and Lenny train arms on their own day or add them in with chest, back, etc.? Both. In the early days, we did it with chest and back, and then we did arms on their own day because we were moving big weights on the barbell curls and skull crushers. So we started doing arms on their own dedicated day. No, I didn't notice any smells in Prince Andrews when I was there. Thoughts on Pete Rubish and should he compete naturally? I think he should. I think he told Leo he was going to do that, but he's pretty strong. I never heard of him until he was on Leo's podcast. Does Brad use more ink for his tattoos or to sign his alimony checks? Do I stretch after workouts? No, I really neglect stretching. I need to do more of it. I did a little bit in the sauna today just because I had time. Most of the time I'm pressed for time and I'm like rushing to get if I got to go to work or something. If I had to choose one accessory movement for increasing my flat bench, what would it be? Skull crushers, or I never did the J.M. Blakely press, but I think that would really help. Some sort of heavy tricep movement. No, I don't drink butter shakes anymore. I've got massages, yeah. Haven't had one in a while, but there's a guy here. He probably has the best rates. I was prior to COVID. I went and got some like twice a year. Not enough. It's probably something if I was to do it frequently, I'd see real good benefits from it. Do I think Tony will just pay off the police to close the case? Does he have that kind of money? You think? But I'm sure that happens in places like that all the time. In Thailand, probably South American countries, Mexico, Middle East. Hell, it happens here in the United States. Like my dad always says, money and power, Andrew, money and power. I should have played. I was tiny in high school, though. 120 pounds my freshman year, and then like 170 by the time I graduated high school. But I do regret not playing football and not wrestling. Brad thinks his tattoos look cool, but he looks like a vandalized street sign. Why are there so many drug addicts in Florida? That's a good question. I think a lot of people relocate to Florida, from other parts of the country, mainly where it was a colder climate. So they're seeking to get away from things. And they probably get down there and work in like restaurants and odd jobs and just hook up with people in the party crowd and end up getting hooked on drugs. Danny Padilla or Franco Colombo? Franco Colombo. Do you think Lenny is serious in his application to Tony to bring him into his Thai harem? I don't think it's a good idea if he is serious. I think he should stay, be there with his mom. His mom's up there in age too, so she had health problems a couple of years ago, so he should, be there with her. Brad goes to the tattoo shop and points to all the art and says, "That's dope. I want that. Ain't it great?" Tony is only an employee of EA Supplements, like how Rich Piana didn't own 5%. The only flimsy chair I remember breaking was after I did the 650 bench at Boston's on the beach in Delray. It's one of the legs on the chair snapped. No, I never tried DNP. Favorite Big Lenny moment? It's hard to say. So many funny moments. The one that always comes to mind was at the gas station in Delray by the Walmart. And Lenny was on GHB, and I went in to go pay for my gas, and I came out, and all of a sudden Lenny's screaming at the Haitian janitor, "What'd you say about this country boy?" And then we're driving down the road, and this old Jewish couple was in a car in the middle lane. I was in the left, and Lenny was like flexing his arms and doing something. There was another car, and he was like looking at Lenny, smiling, and the guy's like, Lenny's like hitting poses, and the old Jewish guy's like, "I want to see some of this," and Lenny started screaming, "Mind your own business!" He just ripped into the old guy. Well, back then, Rando, I think Lenny could, he's more capable of backing up his words, but I mean, he's, with the heart condition now, wouldn't be wise to get in some sort of altercation with somebody. No, I never bleached my facial hair. I should do it like Mel Chauncey, like Hulk Hogan. that I ever think Lenny would have this level of worldwide popularity when I was hanging with him in the early days. Well, there was no YouTube or anything like that, and I'm like, the thought of him like being on a reality show never crossed my mind. But I always knew I was like, this guy, I've never met anybody like him. He's like so off the wall. So in that sense, it doesn't surprise me. But I had no foreknowledge of YouTube or getting him out there on film to the masses. So I wouldn't have predicted it. Yeah, I would take GHB still to this day, strictly for sleep. Um, but it's like if I were to take it, I'd want to go out and socialize. But I think that'd be counterproductive. But to get really good sleep, I would use it for that purpose. Get Gunther out here. Yeah, when he went nuts at the 2004 Southern State, it was funny. And behind the scenes, he was getting in a 3-point stance like a defensive lineman in football, and nothing but his posing trunks. And he was like sprinting up the hallway. And what's his name? Craig Titus was sneering at him. Yeah, I eat walnuts, pecans, almonds, macadamia nuts, pistachios. Thoughts on Mr. G? He should have taken Lenny up and boxed him. That's, yeah, true story. Me and Lenny ate Big Larry's Arby's and left him nothing but wrappers at the show he did at some high school. Well, I got let off twice, Thomas, when I was in Palm Beach. Me and Lenny got G'd up, and they kicked us out of the bar we were working at, and they took Lenny on a gurney to the hospital, and then he went nuts there, and they let me drive home somehow. Then I got a few blocks away, passed out behind the wheel, and Palm Beach police got me, and it was weird. They let me go, but they said, get your car towed to the other side of the island. It was bizarre. Like, they didn't arrest me, they didn't put me in cuffs, but they didn't let me drive my vehicle, but they just wanted me off the Palm Beach Island. It was strange. So the tow truck driver towed my truck and took me over to the mainland and let me go. It was weird. I had to pay him, but could have been worse. Yeah, Prince Andrew should do a sit-down interview with Lenny and his father. Yeah, me and Lenny used to run sprints. He played. He was going to play football for the, what was the team? It was a semi-pro team after we did the '05 Southern States. Something Raiders, Delray Raiders, semi-pro. They had some guys that played college ball. So he was running. We were running sprints to get in shape. But I mean, he was fast for as big as he was. My first cycle was 16 years old. Junior year in high school, I took equipoise and Winstrol. Yeah, I missed my old pickup truck. It was good, to help people move. I could throw the bike back there. Yeah, the guy asked me that. I vomited all over myself in the car. It was all over my pants. He goes, "Are you a chef?" It was like chunks of oatmeal. You got a good memory. Tanya Knight. No, who is that? She passed away. I don't even know who that is. What's the best exercise for releasing natural testosterone? Heavy squats. Probably squats, deadlifts, power cleans. I think like sprinting, high intensity cardio work does. Thanks, MJU. You like my specs? They got blue light filters in them. Yeah, Greg Fortunato was hilarious in person. Yeah. Do your low intensity, steady state on the assault bike. Take some Phenibut like the greats. Pretend you're cruising down Dixie Highway. Yeah, I got along with Big Larry, but honestly used him as motivation because he was one of the bodybuilders when I was at my most massive, and I'd use guys like him, those other Italian guys. They were more into bodybuilding at the time. I was into moving heavy weight, and they were talking to a lot of the hot girls, and I didn't have the self-esteem to talk to them. So me and Lenny would use it for motivation. Is oatmeal good for someone dieting? Of course. You have it with your first meal of the day after you do your cardio. Thoughts on what caused Lenny's health problems? Several things, I think. Probably insulin. I think Leo's theory on what it was insulin resistance and fatty liver. And then there was other like experimental things he took too, like peptides and elephant abortion inducer. And then overeating. But I'd say insulin was the main culprit. Tanya Knight was gold on American Gladiators. Oh, I think I remember her now. No, I don't have any piss squares. But Lenny influenced me to start peeing out my window in Boynton Beach, Florida when we were training partners because I didn't want to walk 10 feet to the bathroom. I was shy and introverted. I was in my early 20s, so out of high school, and I was always afraid to talk to girls. And then, I don't know. Once I started dieting down, though, I gained some confidence. But I don't think girls were into that massive look when I was 340. So that's right. Why walk to the bathroom when you could just stumble out of bed a few feet and pee out your screen window? All right, maniacs, I'm going to call it a night here. It's almost 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. Thanks for joining. I got to get my viewer hours up to get monetized again, so I'm starting from square one. Yeah, I'm going to try for weekly, James, or bi-weekly to do a live. And then my little video series in between with a little Lenny story and some life advice. That's what I'm going to do from here on out. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment below. It always generates an interesting dialogue. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'll put the link in the subscription down below. Suck pumps. Good night, you suck pumps.